Hey everyone. So today is February 10th and it's Bob Marley's birthday, and I wanted to take some time to just talk about him and what he meant to me, not only as a Jamaican artist and as somebody walking down the path of Rastafarianism himself, but also as an inspiration as a reggae artist, etc. So long story short, Bob Marley is basically like my grandfather. That's how I look at him. Like just the cadence of his voice, the way how he looked at the world and the way how he talked about the world, it reminds me a lot of my grandfather, and that generation of Jamaicans who were just really special people. Um, but Bob, as a musician, I think was just somebody truly, truly special because how many other artists can you name that you can say one was nominated three times for a Nobel Peace Prize? Forget the Grammys. Forget the Grammys. He won those too. But he was nominated three times for a Nobel Peace Prize, dude. How many artists they can say that? How many artists can say they got shot three times trying to end tribal violence within their country? How many artists can say that? How many artists have done a speech in front of the UN calling for an end to war and genocide and all of that? How many artists can say that? Bob can. Bob can. And this is a man who did all of this with zero ego. He didn't even want to be famous. He didn't even want his name to even be remembered, right? He was just a man trying to feed his family, play music, and spread the word of Rastafari and King Selassie to the whole world. You know, that was the purpose of Bob Marley. You know, and this man, if you really watch his life, you really watch him in interviews. This man was the closest thing I've seen we've gotten to somebody who literally tried to live a Christ-like life. And what I mean by that is like, if you look at the Bible's definition of what Jesus Christ is supposed to be, right? About you know, being somebody who healed the sick, cares for the cares for others, etc. That's who Bob really was. He really, really became that man. He was an absolutely incredible human being. And the thing about him, because this is the part of the story what nobody wants to talk about, is he was hated. He was hated during his time, dude. He was absolutely hated during his time. That comes out so blatantly when you watch the interviews of him, and just the racist questions they would ask him, the dismissive attitudes, like the six. I'm gonna post some excerpts from this 60 minutes interview, and just listen to how this journalist is framing these questions. Right?
Think any of the Rastas have been involved in the killings in Jamaica over the years, or that's somebody else?
Rasta is involved in progress, in making understanding, like preaching traditional culture to the people. Rasta no killers. You have to do good before you can be a Rasta.
You have to do good.
If he's baddie, then you're bad. If he's goody, then you're good.
But listen to how brilliantly Bob answers this question on race.
What would I have to do to be a Rastafari?
Well, the first thing you have to be born again.
Born again?
Yeah.
Would I have to be black?
Do you have a choice? If you have a choice, you better be black if you have a choice. But if you don't have a choice, come as what God said, yes, right?
You see what I'm saying? This man was absolutely brilliant, man. Absolutely brilliant. Now, here's another excerpt from one of my favorite interviews from him. This is the 1979 interview with W.C. Welch, which, in my opinion, is the absolute best Bob Marley interview there is. Apart from the one he did later on in the Netherlands. But this one is incredible. Watch this.
Your music has been accepted by predominantly really white people as opposed to the black people.
Yes.
Why is that? When you are talking the same thing that the black people were talking in
Well, it is very good, I would say, because if the white man can get to learn what the black man really is, then he will respect the black man for what the black man is. So, but if we just go on like, then everyone just take everyone for granted, and nobody not care. Like, oh, I mean, me personally, me can't be prejudiced. we can't not think of life that way because I figure if you're prejudiced, that means you have a hate. If you have a hate inside of you can't be righteous. So the thing is that whoever deal with Rasta, whether you're Chinese, Indian, white man, black man, because you're going to have a lot of black men who is not Rasta, a lot of white people who is not Rasta, a lot of Indian who is not Rasta, you know, a lot of Chinese too. But out of them, you're going to find some that is real. And that's going to be the thing. You know? And His Majesty of God, and that is what the African have to deal with first. Have to identify himself. I don't know much about Africa in a sense what African government is in Africa. But my little knowledge that I get is that majority of the African countries them that is border. You know, like border out and call it Nigeria or Ghana. All of them is foreign ideology and nothing for the African. So the beauty about it now is that we know in today's world I ask, why God create we when we is nobody? You know, we don't want to be slaves. We must be someone. And that means if we're someone, the man who create we have to tell me where he is. Well, all him say, obey him. And everything cool. And that's what we is him.
So the interviewer was asking him a question about if he's worried or if things have improved for him in California. Because at the time, there was a very racist police chief who used to like harass the band all the time whenever they would be on tour and be playing in the city. Right? And this is Bob's response to him.
Yeah, especially when Chief Davis was the chief of police in Los Angeles. Has that changed a little bit for you?
Yeah, it changed. I don't hear anything much happening. But I don't pay them no mind, you know. Because the fight we train already. We are well trained. Because during my time growing up in Jamaica, from I reached 16, 17, from I reached 18, I never stopped running from police till I had 32. You hear me? I never stopped running from police from I was 18 till I become 32. Never stop. Keep running from police every day. So you see, we're well trained. And no police, no wicked like Jamaica police. See? Because when you look on them, you and them black same way. You and them live on a little island. Them know so the Queen, we are England. But they want to kill you for the Queen. You know, because all them do is just defend the Queen. You know?
But then, that's basically been your story.
Yeah.
They conquered it all.
Yeah, man, them can't do nothing, man. Them can't do nothing.
Now, I want you to go and listen to Bob's album, Uprising, which is my personal favorite album. And you listen to the songs on that album and tell me if that album couldn't be released today and be talking about all of the things that we're dealing with. That's the type of artist that Bob was. You know what I'm saying? And it's so sad, man, because everybody out here is just using his name, using his image, all of this stuff, basically to sell cheap crap. You know what I'm saying? It's just so disgusting to watch it, honestly, to really watch it. And even right now, people are using him, even in the digital age, as a SEO searchable name, right? So they're making all kinds of content talking about Cindy Breakspear. This man was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize 3 goddamn times, and you're talking about Cindy Breakspear, bro. Cindy Breakspear, bro. Like, and yeah, let's talk about Cindy Breakspear. It led to Damian Marley. How the hell was that a mistake? And how the hell was that him doing something wrong? It led to Damian Marley. You see what I'm saying, dude? So, nah, man, like, there's a reason why there's a statue of Bob Marley in Jamaica, right? Because Bob Marley, to me, embodied everything of what the ideal person is supposed to be, you know? And especially, he embodies, for me, everything of what the ideal artist is supposed to be. Because as artists, I believe that we all have a responsibility to speak up for others, especially for people who can't speak up for themselves, and especially in moments in history where it's the unpopular thing to be on the side of humanitarianism. That is when you have to speak up the most, and especially when it's the most dangerous. And Bob lived that. He walked and he lived that, you know? And it wasn't just him. It was the Wailers too. It was Peter Tosh. You know, it was that whole generation of Rastafarian artists, you know? I feel like that's also one of the things that is such a disservice to his memory, because everybody who talks about Bob Marley tries to divorce the man from the ideology. And the ideology was Rastafarianism. And you cannot separate the two. You cannot separate the two. You know what I'm saying? And to really understand who Bob was. And if you claim to be a Bob Marley fan, but you can't name a single interview that you've ever seen of him, and I mean right now, to the point where you're seeing all of these right wingers who are trying to reappropriate Bob Marley and are even changing the meanings and the lyrics of his song to suit their mindset. You know, it's disgusting, you know, but Bob Marley was the truth, man. Bob Marley was the truth. And I just want to say happy birthday, Bob Marley. A happy Earthstrong, because, and many more, because Rastafari will never die. So that's why we don't say rest in peace.